Yo, how's it going, everyone? It is that time once again. We are back for the Dokkan early stream. There's no OST, there we go. Yeah, how's everybody doing today? Get the likes in early, chat. Yep, good idea from Thomas. Get those likes in early. Make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to everyone who is here right away for the start of the stream. Appreciate you guys. Another level 10 link. Let's go. Bringer, Drace, Jiren, MX, Dutchy. How's it going? British Dokkan Goat. Hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, MX, Bringer, Drace, M. I need Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to have 80% damage reduction. I mean, that would be pretty crazy, but I think maybe a little bit too much. I'm just having straight up 80% damage reduction. I mean, it would be good, but because he is currently in Gogeta, pretty much is just stats. And then his active skill is more stats for this turn. So his EZA should be very interesting because he should get some other kind of abilities. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well on what is for me Thursday morning. I think leveling the sub EZAs. Nice. Love the Omega team. Would love another unit instead of Super EZA Omega. I mean, Super EZA Omega is really, really good in events where you can lower attack. Definitely, I said the same thing to Minato last night on Twitter when they were talking about, like, Omega's team and, like, the difficult events. And I do feel like the biggest problem with Omega's team for like the Rose and Zamasu fight is that there's multiple units on his team that don't really do very well, like being locked in slot 1. Which is the same for a lot of units, for sure, but Omega's team feels like it has a lot of units on it that really don't want to get locked in slot 1. Oh yeah, Bringer, shout out. I meant to post the screenshot and tag you, but there you go. We got our boy finished, so we've changed, put another clone on the team that needs leveling.
Alright, let's do this.
I need more Gogeta. Yeah, I think we will see, like in the EX part 3 or whatever you want to call it, I still think we'll see Vegeta and Trunks as EZA, and in Gogeta EZA. At the bare minimum, just those two. But it depends, because if part 3, if there is going to be a part 3 and it has some kind of like Daima type relation, then obviously Super Saiyan 4 still ties into that easily enough. But I'm not sure if they do a like extra part and it is like Daima themed. Not really sure how like in Vegeta and Trunks like fit into that. You know, good morning, Not Wasted. How's it going? Ruby Rose is good evening from the US. How's it going? Just beat Gogeta no items in 8 minutes with Omega team with Nova instead of STR Omega. 94 million from physical Omega next to the Legion of the Shadow Dragons. Yeah, the Omega team is just insane when it comes to damage output. There's a few like questionable defense like units, I guess, but like the actual just sheer amount of numbers that these guys put out is ridiculous. We tried STI Omega on a rotation with LR Rose and Zamasu and LR Shadow Dragons. Seems like a strange combo. I've not because I use normally for the Omega team setup that I'm using, STR and Omega and Rose and the Shadow Dragons are both floating units, so they don't ever end up on the same rotation. But yeah, I mean, in Shadow Dragon, I mean, Rose and Zamasu being on the rotation doesn't even really matter that much, does it? It's made like the Shadow Dragons and STR Omega is already a pretty crazy combo. But yeah, the Shadow Dragons are a lot better than I thought. Like I did the video yesterday, them having the like 69% damage reduction once both the Omega passives are up is kind of crazy. I scared the screenshot when I first used Omega, it had an 81 million attack stat. Yeah, but I like the fact that mine just consistently gets like 70 million on a normal turn where he's just sat in slot 3. He just gets 70 million attack stats. It's like, oh, okay. That's pretty good. Okay. So we've used our boosts, we've done our dailies. That'll get done soon. Yeah, I want to try and start like starting the runs of putting together like, you know, Omega's team beating like loads of the events together. Liza P is once again free for PS Plus. I mean, that's good though, because the DLC came out recently, didn't it? So, because that's the thing, the reason why I haven't played the DLC is because the game, I got the game on Game Pass on Xbox, and now the game isn't on Game Pass anymore. So I don't have the original, so there's no point in me getting the DLC, because technically I don't have the game. But I would very much like to have the game and play the DLC. Because Liza P is probably, I would say, the best Souls-like game that isn't like a FromSoft game. Like, it just is that good. I would love to play the DLC. I think the 2022 Worldwide LRs, EZA in this celebration, or during the slot where the old Worldwide used to be. I feel like it's potentially more likely to be the anniversary now, because Frieza and Goku are EZA during the anniversary, and they were the worldwide celebration units from the year before, so it kind of makes sense now that it's just an anniversary thing potentially. Alright. Pull AGL Omega. Might not be the greatest decision if I don't pull physical Omega. Yes, I would definitely have not recommended buying AGL Omega without having already pulled the physical Omega. Yes. I mean, I guess you could still like use him as a leader and run all the new like units together and still have like a GT Bosses team with a friend Omega, but alright, so let's go for what cards could they revive if one of the heroes' EZAs gave the Omega 2-turn 10% damage reduction? I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that's enough. Like, a hero's card that gave all allies, like, was it 70% defense and 10% damage reduction for 2 turns, like Omega? Like, that's not enough. But yeah, making it a Super Saiyan 4, like a Limit Breaker Gogeta, Because then you've got the Super Saiyan 4 EZAs that are coming out and everything. Like, just make it so it's like the full Super Saiyan 4 team again, but just all heroes Super Saiyan 4s. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't think AGL Omega got some kind of crazy, like, I feel like it isn't the case that it's like, oh my god, he's made this crazy comeback. Like, he's still fairly mid, I would say. Alright, so we're going to go into a couple of these events that were like the tough events from the 10th anniversary and just crush them with the Omega team is the goal. So I did play through it yesterday just to like for fun and didn't record it because I was in the middle of making thumbnails and stuff as well, so it actually took longer than it needed to. So like if I'd taken a screenshot at the end or something, like it wouldn't have been an impressive time because it took way longer than it actually needed to because I was in the middle of doing something else. So no, my luck, there'll be a part 3 LR Daima, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So I exchanged my coins. Yep, same. I saw quite a few people calling him top 10. Wait, what? Surely not. Like, even if he is a bit better now, like, and runnable on the Omega team, no way anyone is saying he's top 10. That's wild. Alright.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the AGL Super Saiyan Blue Goku from the final stage of the Vegeta story Red Zone. And of course we start off with no slot 1 unit. I mean, hopefully the turn 1 damage reduction for Sin will be enough here. Plus Goku can be attack lowered, so he is being attack lowered by STR Omega. Nice. No super in slot 1. And then, yeah, because we've got the 7 orbs, we attack lower him even more by hitting him with Texin. So that was the big thing about these fights, like this Goku and the Vegeta, the fact they had so much HP. I remember doing challenge runs like on streams where we would be using teams that weren't the Vegeta or Gogeta teams, and like during the 10th anniversary, and it would take even ones where we would beat the run, it would take like 40 odd minutes or so because they got so much health. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this team does, especially considering once we start getting the Omega domains active and stuff like that. Like, so many of the units on this team can put out absolutely insane damage. Yeah, Shadow Dragons. Bear in mind we've got no Omega support here yet because we still don't have either of them. They're both on the second turn, okay. Not ideal. Yeah, STR Omega in slot 3, just casually 49 million attack stats here from this support unit. No crits. 10. But, I mean, STR Omega in any event when the enemy can be attack lowered. STR Omega obviously putting in a lot of work. But yeah, this is annoying. Having them both together. That's alright. Throw out the domain. Start getting these buffs underway. Do this. There we go. So you can melt Vegeta. Yeah, like once you start getting the domains up and have all the characters actually properly linked up, and like the numbers that these guys can hit on this team, then yeah, we can definitely get through this a lot faster than we have been able to in the past with other teams. And this team has so much attack lowering, so for these events where it's actually relevant, like it's going to have such a huge effect. Because remember, Zamasu and Rose and then the Omegas only share Big Bad Bosses, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. Which is, I mean, if you're only going to have a couple of links active, those are some good ones to have. Big Bad Boss is obviously very good. Yeah, Rose lowering attack on the 12 key, Omega lowering attack on the 12 key. I wonder if we action break to wear super early on. But yeah, Omega with another action break. But yeah, crazy to think that these guys on this rotation, their 18 keys were all, they're like 49 to 50 million on a rotation where they don't have their like best link partner or a support unit or anything crazy like that. Like, this rotation's not ideal. I mean, we still have the, we got the double support active now from the Omegas on the previous turn. Like, Sin's not really supposed to be a slot 1 unit, but hopefully with the type advantage and all the attack lowering, he'll be okay. And then obviously when he attacks, because we got the 7 orbs, he just lowers attack again. So 41 million from this sub EZA into a 44. Okay. And yeah, remember the Shadow Dragons now have 69% damage reduction. He still has, what, 60 Sin currently? Yeah. Gonna see a lot of those double-digit damage things. Also, I don't know, I think Omega must have action braked away the super in the first slot in the last turn, but Omega can also nullify this Goku super attack as well. So if we get into a situation where we can see that. Oh yeah, of course the LR Shadow Dragons also lower attack. AGL Rose not meeting the damage threshold, let's go. I mean, he hasn't been hit yet, so there's a good few attacks in slot 3 for him here to get some build up now. But yeah, that's kind of funny. All these other units on the team doing this like crazy damage, and then AGL Rose just like 0. He got hit first, yep, so he had 45% damage reduction when he took that hit, still took double digit damage. Okay. I like to use Rose's active skill because even though it only buffs him and the AGL Rose, it does give defense, whereas the Zamasu one only gives attack, which, I mean, obviously if we want to speed through events like as quickly as possible, that's fine, but I like using that one, especially in situations like this where we're going to put him in slot 1, just basically just so that the I was going to say this so the Omegas can link, but it's the wrong Omega, they can't link. So I probably should have just put the physical one in slot 1 actually. That's the only downside for STR Omega, him having the same name as the physical one. I kind of just like autopiloted sort of 2 Shadow Dragons and was like, yeah, we'll put them next to each other, but yeah, I should have left Rose in the middle. I really want to see him super physical Omega and get nullified, but of course he won't. Dokkan's still running ads of AGL Blue Vegeta from 2023. And even they know that that unit is a meme. I mean, considering he's got no links active, 45 million attack stat is actually kind of crazy for no links active at all. Like, that's kind of wild when you think about it. Okay, I mean, this is going to be a wild turn. Like, all this support, the domain's active again, like, yeah, it's going to be a pretty good turn here, I would imagine. Friend Omega, I think it's 90%. Typical, we finally got the finally got him to super physical Omega and he didn't negate it. 77.9, so yeah, 78 million basically. That's pretty good. And then yeah, 43 for Sin. Like everyone on this team just hits so hard because of the domain and all the support and like we just see crazy numbers out of this team. Also, this Goku is so like ridiculously attack lowered now. Like everybody just hitting him with these attack lowering supers. The INT Shadow Dragon's 54 million. Like even all these EZAs and sub EZAs and stuff, even all the support units are just hitting so insanely hard on this team. It's crazy. And there we go. And there we go. I mean, that should be GG. Rose with his own active skill buff and the domain and the links from AGL Rose. Like, obviously, Omega doesn't look as good on this turn, but he's still getting the support from AGL Rose as well. But remember, so before we see the number, remember my Rose is 69%, right? He has one dupe. So let's see what he does here on this turn. Hey, there we go. $61 million. Okay, it's pretty good. Crit. No additional though from the passive. But then we do get the hidden potential. That's why I wanted a dupe for him, because obviously he can go so crazy. Now, can AGL Rose? Yeah, okay, he's up to 34 million now. Okay. No repeat of the 0 turn that we saw previously. Alright, well there you go. That was Omega's team absolutely dismantling the blue Goku. Nice and quick. Obviously the fact that he has the ability to be attack lowered is very good for this team. But yeah, I imagine we'll probably set new best times for all of these stages. But yeah, that was the blue Goku one. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Yo, Christopher over on the Twitch side, how's it going? We're trying, for this stream specifically, I want to try and get a lot of these like runs done where I'm just using the Omega team against a bunch of the tough events in the game. I know the thing about the Immortal team, I can't remember exactly like what the build is, but it's like all the attack lowering, like the clones and stuff, right? And then you just basically can't take damage from a boss that can be attack lowered. But I'm assuming, like, depending on how tough the boss is, especially that Goku with how much health he has, I imagine that run takes ages because you don't do a lot of damage in comparison to like one of the top teams, right? So I want to use the time on this stream to get these runs done for a video that I'm putting together of like Omega's team just going through a bunch of the anniversary content and all the events that were the hardest events in the game and just going through them with the Omega team to kind of like sail through and right. AJ Omega needing rainbow orbs hurts a lot. I think Sin helps, but he needs 7 orbs. That's the only problem with Sin sometimes, because you can create so many rainbow orbs, is you can have a situation where like Omega in slot 1 picks up his orbs, and then because of where the rainbow orbs are, there's just multiple paths where Sin can pick up 6 orbs, but none where he can get 7, which is kind of annoying.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay, so we got Blue Vegeta next. This one should be pretty good. Obviously, he always supers in slot 1, but Omega's got type advantage, so should be pretty good. Of course, we're going to go ahead and start off with the domain. Get this extra attack buff. And then off we go. The other Omega is on the next turn, which is good. Now, obviously, this Vegeta can't be attack lowered, so gotta be careful about that. But he only supers in slot 1, so it's not really as big of a deal. Like, he can't be attack lowered, but we always know where he's gonna super, so. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, he gets the maximum stat buff if he gets 7 as well, because remember, he gets attack and defense per orb obtained, and the maximum is 7. But yeah, in terms of the special abilities that he gets, the 7 orbs just gives him lowers the attacked enemy's attack, which if they can't be attack lowered, it doesn't matter. So if he gets 6 orbs on that turn, it's not the end of the world, but he does lose out on a little bit of attack and defense, which again is not the end of the world. That doesn't like suddenly make him bad or anything. But Rose actually doing damage to Vegeta here. Because Vegeta has a damage threshold as well, right? Maybe it's just because we crit. No, good. And then he's going to get hit anyway, so. Wait, how did the follow-up attack that also crit do no damage when he just did... Oh, it was a normal, of course. Alright. Well, that's fine. So yeah, now we've got this rotation, which... get the orbs for Sin again. Like, we don't need the 7 orbs for Sin on this rotation technically, but we'll get them anyway. But yeah, Sin and the SCI Omega sharing all 7 links is pretty good. Should see some good damage on this turn. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see like these fights where they had so much HP taking so long before, and then yeah, this Omega team, like I said, is going to set like new best times for all of these stages because we just tear through the enemy. 43 million. He disables guard, so it doesn't matter that the enemy is INT. I mean, he crit anyway. Gonna almost A1 GT boss potential farmer. Right now I'm Squidward looking at Patrick and SpongeBob playing with Rose and Omega. I do not have either Rose or Omega. Because yeah, I mean, that's the problem is obviously, like, I don't even know who you would run. Like, if you don't have Omega, who you would run as a team and then have him as a friend. Like, you just would have to stick to one category, I guess. You can't run, like, the exact team that I'm running now, but with, like, just a different leader and then an Omega friend. Because who are you running as that leader? If it's you can't run a GT boss lead and have the Rosés on the team. Omega just like STI Omega, by the way, just in slot 3, casually doing 80 million attack stats as a floating support. But yeah, Sin getting all 7 orbs does give him more stats. He gets, I think it's 50% attack and defense per orb up to 350. So if you want the full buff, he does need 7 orbs. But in terms of the actual abilities that he gets, he doesn't need 7, because the 7th one is just for attack lowering the enemy. And if they can't be attack lowered, then it's not the end of the world if you don't get that. Yeah, Rose just casually eats that in slot 1 as well. Love to see that. 48.7. That's the thing, Rose and Zamasu is just such a good unit on this team, because they're like, whilst not being a Shadow Dragon, they still have those couple of big links, and then he's just good enough to stand on his own as like a great unit on the team, even without having to have like his best link partner next to him or anything. So 75 million for Omega. That's my Omega as well, by the way. That's a 55% Omega. It's doing a 75 million attack stat. And then the Shadow Dragons are at 64. Yeah, I named my showcase this yesterday, but like the free-to-play units have been on point in this celebration. But think how many disappointing free-to-play units we've gotten in the past, even in like the past year. And like this celebration is like all the free-to-play units are all so good. We've got the clones, we've got Nova, we've got the Shadow Dragons, EZA. Like they're all really, really good. Go. That's for you. But yeah, Rainbow Friend Omega. Obviously, we've got technically no support. We've got the Rose support. He's got the links from Sin, but Sin doesn't give support. Still 61 million. And the action break is nice as well. I mean, obviously, it's not the be-all and end-all for this event specifically as well, because of him always supering in slot 1. The action break is just always getting rid of a normal, which with these units and how strong they are, like, that's not going to do much. I'm running Omega, so I can't run any good extreme team. Yeah, Omega feels like a if you like running extreme teams, like that's Omega feels like a must-have out of the 4 from this celebration because of the leader skill. And I think he might be the worst out of the 4 units just in terms of like his kit, but for like the leader skill and then like the support he gives the team, he's probably the best. Right, this team is just so good, as you can see, as we sail through all of the anniversary content here. Let's do the Zamasu one, why not? For the damage. I never really use Zamasu, so let's leave Zamasu out here as well and see if the physical Omega doesn't finish him off. He's getting the big support from STR Omega though, so... $80 million for Zamasu. An additional into 52. And there you go, that's the blue Vegeta taken care of. At no point in any way, shape or form did it feel like we were struggling or even really trying that hard. Yeah, another best time. Not far off of being like half the time as well. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, that's Blue Vegeta, and let's jump into another one. But yeah, like this team just absolutely shreds everything. If he didn't auto domain... Wait, what do you mean auto domain? Because yeah, Gogeta, and the fact that his 18 key super is an AoE, so he actually would be quite good for the World Tournament. Because yeah, Omega's domain is his active skill, so you don't have to use it. Right, let's rename those. So that's the 2 Stage 10 fights from the anniversary. I might do like one of the Jiren ones. I think the Goku story one was probably the hardest one. Oh yeah, well that's the thing, because you can't auto in the World Tournament, so it won't auto use it. So I mean, at least there's that. That's why I said Omega's perfect for World Tournament. Yeah, I'm trying to think, is he on the leader skill of the new team? The fastest times are here. I know, right? This team's just absolutely sails through. Now, the Jiren fight will be slightly harder because now we're getting to the point. Now we're getting up against some bosses that have rotation locking. So there are a few characters on this team. As good as this team is, and as good as the characters on this team are, I would say there's a couple of characters on this team that won't do particularly great with being locked in slot 1. So we'll see how we go.
Let's do this.
Okay, so this is the Jiren fight from the Goku story red zone, the AGL Jiren at the end. This is the fight that I think after the 10th anniversary was over and we've moved on to the next lot of stuff, was probably considered the hardest fight. So how do we want to set this up? We've got both the Rosés on opposite turns, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess we'll just do this. Now I'm actually going to not use Omega's domain on the first turn, mainly because not only is this fight quite long, but obviously the domain, even though it does buff the allies, it makes super class enemies take more damage, and in this first phase against Bergamo, he's extreme. Nice. Rosé dodging the super that would have done double digit damage. Let's go. But yeah, the first couple of phases of this fight will just get absolutely destroyed. The challenge comes from, with this team, once we get to the rotation locking. Because there are a few units on this team that won't do super well getting locked in slot 1, and then if they get like insta-supered. Right, so that's Bergamo gone. Use the domain straight away, because why not? I wonder if you do get any extra links from Omega. No. Alright, so do that. Do that. Do that. See, a lot of support for the friend Omega on this rotation. The Shadow Dragons and Rosé. So yeah, just 79 million. Alright. Bye, Kale. Like I said, the first phases aren't the difficult ones, but still, it's kind of funny. Just absolute devastation there. Do that. It's a shame that STR Omega doesn't buff everyone on the team. It's just GT bosses and full power. It'd be so funny if they'd given him like all of the categories of physical Omega's leader skill as his support. The team would just be even more crazy. Yeah, Jiren can crit in the... Is it the... That was the last phase where you can't dodge. Or is it the last one you can't dodge? I can't remember. Big crit from Rosé. 37.8. I mean, the fact that like the domain is twofold in the damage buff, right? Because it's the buffing all of their attack, but it's also making super class enemies take more damage. So the end result is you absolutely shredding the HP bars of these characters. 66 million from STR Omega. Good lord. Alright, so yeah, of course you get locked in. Now this is the only downside, is Omega's locked in slot 2. I mean, these guys have 69% damage reduction. I don't know if like anyone on this rotation other than Omega can actually survive in slot 1 though. That's the only problem. Because rotation locking is always going to be an issue. Of course they did. I was going to say they're not going to dodge this though, are they? $842k. We survive on 2% HP. Oh, Sin might be cooked actually. Yeah. But yeah, that's the problem. Locking and AoEs in the same thing. Does that sound familiar to another fight that we have in the meta currently that's the hardest fight in the game? I expected them to get one shot. I mean, so did I, to be fair. Like, yeah, them actually surviving that is pretty impressive, but we should be getting some news in 13 minutes. Oh, yeah. Oh no, no other super boss locking AoE boss stage. Yeah, Assume whatever new unit is going to be INT, right? Whatever new unit. Oh, what? Because of like if there is like a new, like a part 3 new unit. I mean, it could be tech. None of the new units were tech. I'm surprised one of the units in part 1 wasn't INT or tech. I don't know why they did 2 SDRs and then in part 2 did 2 different typings. It's just like, what was the point of doing both the part 1s as the same type? I don't get it. Well, there must be a reason why they did that, but... Alright,
let's do this.
Okay, so we got the AGL Jiren fight from the Goku story, Red Zone. This was considered probably the hardest fight of the 10th anniversary once the anniversary was over. The problem with this fight, and any fight that does the same when it comes to the Omega team, as much as we can see them dominate in a bunch of the different fights, rotation locking and AoE combo that this Jiren has, like in the INT phase, just like the Rose and Zamasu stage, like there's a lot of the units on this team that just are not meant to go in slot 1, right? Like this team, as dominant as it can be, it's because you're always using physical Omega or STR Rose as the slot 1 character. So it's going to be difficult. Maybe we could do... Maybe I should float off like a physical Omega before we get to Jiren. And then he'll come back onto the rotation in slot 1 against Jiren. The problem is we'll get through these other early phases so quickly that we might not even have the chance to like set that up properly. Do that. Do that. Do that. 7 orbs for you. Obviously not the best turn for Sin, but he's getting the support from HL Rose at least. Should run Carnival Omega for the one time. I mean, it could be useful for the revive. If the revive is up on the locking rotate, like the locking AoE turn, that obviously could be really, really helpful. But double-digit damage, of course. Rose is just that guy. Yeah, just float the slot ones. We'll see what happens here. Because Sin should kill Kale. Because yeah, he's not got all the Shadow Dragon links active or anything, but he's still got a decent attack, and he's going to get another super as well anyway. So like it's only the Omegas we need to worry about really being in slot 1, I suppose, for Jiren. Maybe I don't activate the first domain as well, just so that we have another turn where we can then put the other Omega in slot 3. Because that's the thing, I guess I kind of need to like stall a little bit so I can make sure I have them floating off into the right slots, I guess. It's probably the smart thing to do here. Because we're going into the Jiren phase after this one, so we want to ideally, if possible, we ideally don't want to kill her even on the next turn. Because then the turn where we've got no Omegas, that's when we then kill her and then go into the Jiren phase with one physical Omega in slot 1. But I mean, this team just does so much damage now with all this support and everything. There's no way we don't kill her on the next turn, which is then going to be super awkward for the first Jiren phase turn. Yeah. This is Omega with no links active as well, by the way, because he's next to the STR one. And he's still doing like 22 million additionals. With no links. Well, the other Omega's going to come onto this rotation now, so I kind of have to do this. I have to float the other one off. And then this way, the STR Rose will be in slot 2, which if he gets locked there, that's where I want him to be anyway. Yeah, I probably should have started, because we can get through these phases so quickly, I should have just started floating the Omegas off straight away from like turn 1. Because yeah, unfortunately we're going to be in the situation again for Jiren here where there's no one that can go in slot 1 really. Because he always supers in slot 1. Yeah. How much damage reduction does he have? Is it only 40? So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's cooked. Yeah. Yeah, so the plan will have to be to float all of them. All the slot ones, just float them off like straight away. Activate the domain straight away as well. And then, yeah, just float everyone off. But yeah, we'll give it a minute, because if there's going to be news in like a couple of minutes, I want to make sure we get on that straight away. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Shout out to everyone who's here in the stream. Got 66 people in the stream and 22 likes. That's exactly a third of the people in the stream. So 44 people in the stream right now have not liked the stream. So go ahead, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Give a follow if you're over on the Twitch side. Oh yeah, I didn't put the second channel link in the chat, so I'll do that. Playing more Death Stranding tonight. Death Stranding 2. We had some deep story like progression yesterday, and now we will be fully hopping into gameplay to start exploring Australia. I need 25 more stones. But yeah, the team gets through the first phases too quickly to wait to start floating the slot ones, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what day is it even today. It's Thursday, so oh yeah, because I guess the new content stuff is meant to be out tomorrow, like the update to the shop and everything with the new rewards. Doing the Future Trunks superhero mission. Why is there a 69% EZA AGL MUI and then 7 rainbow not EZA DUIs? That's always the funniest, is when there's so few of the character that you want available that like the game gives you a like non-EZA'd version of the leader that you need as the recommended leader, and it's like yeah, probably not going to be using that guy. Yes, what did I say? Look at the title. Okay, let's change the title quickly. So, INT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta EZA. Is a Diamond Part 3 coming? There we go. Alright, so INT Gogeta EZA, eh? I don't think we were expecting that. Oh, and Vegeta and Trunks EZA. Let's go. Okay. Okay, well, remember guys, those of us who kept the faith that these EZAs, what did I say about these EZAs still coming later in the celebration? Now, to be fair, I said for part 3 or like EX or whatever, but what did I say? I said that these EZAs were still coming. Like, it wouldn't make any sense for this celebration to end and them to have not EZA'd Vegeta and Trunks and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But the question is, are they going to be good? Because we also have, if we go back to the thing here, there's the upcoming content thing. There's a Gogeta clones event, but it's not going to be for like farming the good. Like, it won't be for farmable Gogeta clones, I don't think. Dokkan Ultimate Players Choice Battle. New stages of when wishes backfire, Birth of the Shadow Dragons. Oh, isn't that the boss rush thing? Shadow Dragons, boss rush, and then yeah, new things available from the shop. So we should get the data download like what, tomorrow? Wait, if the content's out tomorrow though, some of this stuff can't be. Is this stuff out? Are we getting like a data download later today, or is it just going to be data download like super early tomorrow and then the content drops like a couple of hours after? Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn. I say, boy. Super early tomorrow, most likely. I'll look into it. Hey, thanks, Goat. Shout out to Goton. All right, let me get the chat up on my phone so I can record the news here and get it up straight away. Vegeta and Trunks look nasty. I mean, I haven't looked. I need to look, so we're going to get it done on camera live. We'll do it live. All right. Here we go. Let's get this up here. Actually, let's put on a better OST. I like to take the shuffle off and then just play from the physical Kale and Caulifla one, because both of their OSTs are really good. Okay. Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we're expecting some updates and some content tomorrow. I don't think we were necessarily expecting this announcement right now here today, but yes, shout out to all my fellow brethren or brothers and sisters, everyone else. Those of us who kept the faith, we are indeed getting the EZAs for INT LR Vegeta and Trunks and INT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I said, like when part 1 was kind of wrapping up and we hadn't had this EZA yet, that I felt like we would get it later in the celebration, because I feel like there's no way that they would go through the whole of this celebration and these guys not EZA, especially after they EZA'd Zamasu. It just doesn't really make any sense to do that, but obviously with all the memes of how Dokkan often does things that don't make a lot of sense, I know a lot of people were worried, but we are getting this EZA. And then of course this guy for the part 2 stuff, he's one of the oldest Dokkan Fest. It's only the physical Angel Frieza that transforms into Golden Frieza is now the oldest Dokkan Fest, and then it was this guy that didn't have an EZA. And with this being a GT themed celebration, it only makes sense for him to be getting the EZA. So we're going to go through their details. I haven't looked at them, they've literally just been posted, so you're going to get my genuine first thoughts and reactions here. Really hoping that these guys will be good. These guys came out as the Tanabata Part 1 LR and were the best unit in the game on release. So let's take a look at what they do. So obviously their lead is Bond of Parent and Child. Funnily enough, still the only unit in the game that leads Bond of Parent and Child, like with a proper full leader skill. Future Saga, and then the extra 30% and 1 key for Battle of Fate. So they have their entrance animation when there is another Bond of Parent and Child ally on the team, which I believe is still the same. Just has to be one character. Actually, no, on they're a pre-EZA, they have to be on the same turn. So now this way, I guess it means you can run them even with just one Bond of Parent and Child ally on the team, and it doesn't matter if they're on the same turn at the very start. So they get key 7 and 100% defense for 5 turns. This is an extra like 5 key and extra 30% defense from pre-EZA, so that's good. They also have damage reduction 10% and randomly change key spheres of a certain type int excluded to rainbow for 3 turns. So they have rainbow orb changing and 10% damage reduction for 3 turns. Their basic effects are key +2, attack and defense 200%. They just have guaranteed guard now, so they had to be what, like the first attacker in the turn, and then their intro gave them guard for 5 turns before. Now they just have guard. They have 20% damage reduction, so that means obviously first 3 turns it's actually 30%. Launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. Pre-EZA it was like medium chance, so it's gone from 30% to 70%. When attacking with 18 or more key, launches an additional super attack, so I mean that's good, just guaranteed. When activating the active skill or when attacking with 24 key, Bond of Parent and Child category allies get 30% defense. So obviously they are a slot 1 unit, or meant to be, so they're attacking with 24 key, giving all the Bond of Parent and Child allies 30% extra defense is obviously very, very good. And then for every attack received or evaded, which is a nice update because it was just received before, key +2 up to 10. Attack 20% up to 100, defense 50% up to 150, chance to crit 10% up to 50. So they can build up to 50% crit chance. And then as the first attacker in the turn, they get an extra 200% attack and defense and damage reduction 30%. So that means in slot 1, they have 60% damage reduction for the first 3 turns, and then it's 50%. And obviously by then, they'll have hopefully received or evaded 3 attacks, so you'll have built up that full extra 150% defense from their passive. So they should have pretty good start of turn defense, whilst having, even later into the fight, guard and 50% damage reduction. So these guys seem really, really good. And then obviously now this opens up the opportunity to have the STR Goku Vegeta from Part 1 in the Vegeta form in Part 2, which will then in slot 2, which will then be buffing this unit because it gives a buff to units whose name includes Trunks. So this obviously seems very, very good here. Then we got our super attacks. So the 12 key is greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, does colossal damage to the enemy, which is obviously good. And then the 18 key super is stacks attack and defense, mega colossal damage to the enemy, raise allies attack and defense by 5% in battle. Wait. By 5%. Okay. So this is like a slightly new wording that we've seen on some of these other abilities, but what this means, or what this should mean, the translation of this 18 key super, is every single time these guys 18 key super, allies get an extra 5% attack and defense permanently. Now obviously the 18 key super is not the one they do with additionals. Even if a fight lasts like 8 turns, for example, these guys are only going to be on rotation like 3 or 4 times. So it's not like insane amounts of stacks on stacks, but like even that is actually crazy. A permanent buff, because yeah, Glorio has this, but it's a permanent, like it's for himself only. This is raises allies attack and defense by 5%. Now I wonder if it only means all the ones on the rotation, or does it mean everyone like on the team? But yeah, permanent buff of 5% attack and defense every time he 18 key supers. Like that's really, really good. Obviously, active skills don't change with EZA, so just as a reminder, their active skill, the Father Son Gallic Gun, activated when all allies in the same turn are Future Saga starting from turn 3, or when HP is 50% or less from turn 5. So obviously with the team build that we can make now for like this team or Goku and Vegeta, you are going to be able to have rotations where everyone is Future Saga, but obviously we're using a lot of the non-Future Saga, like the fusions and stuff like that. So their active skill is not something you necessarily will always see, because without the full Future Saga rotation, it's turn 5 and you have to be 50% or less HP. But it massively raises attack temporarily, ultimate damage, and then within the turn that you activate it, all attacks become crits and raise all allies' defense by 20%. So that on top of everything that they're already doing. Because remember, when they super with 24 key, they're already buffing the allies' defense. Then their 18 key super effect itself buffs everybody's stats. And then obviously the active skill gives a crazy buff as well. So yeah, they seem very, very good. This is exactly what we would want. They need to be a strong slot 1. They're providing all the support. Like, that seems pretty crazy, and this is exactly what we wanted for that team. So really, really happy with this EZA. Let me know what you guys think down below. And so let's take a look at INT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now, this guy was interesting. We talked about him in videos leading up to the campaign, because his passive was very much like a blank slate. It's pretty much just all stats. So I'm interested to see what they have done with his EZA. So let's see. So obviously he's Giant 8 Power or Shadow Dragon Saga full 170. He's got key for attack and defense 300%. Attacks effective against all types. Damage reduction 40%. Then for 1 turn from his entry turn, he has another 40% damage reduction. So turn 1 he has 80% damage reduction, which is crazy. For every attack received or evaded, chance to crit 25% up to 100%. Okay. So he builds up to 100% crit after getting attacked 4 times. So he needs no crit in the hidden potential. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he gets another 250% attack and defense and launches an additional super. I guess this is obviously because they've kind of put this into his kit because of the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who you will very often be running in slot 1. So you can put this guy on the team, run him in slot 3, and you don't have to worry about them clashing with like the same name not being able to link. An extra 250% attack and defense on top of the fact that he has 300 start of turn is pretty good. And then he's getting a guaranteed additional super. When he receives a super, he has a great chance to nullify and counter with tremendous power for 10 turns, and then a high chance from turn 11. So he had a 50% chance before, and now it's 70% for 10 turns, and then it drops back down to 50, which, I mean, 50 is still good. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Like, yeah, they haven't given him a ton of extra crazy abilities, but having the extra damage reduction is good. You have to understand that, like, post-super, with the stats he's got there from being in slot 2 or 3, his defense is going to be really, really high. And then he's going to have 40% damage reduction on every turn other than the first one, which is still very, very good. Especially when, if we take a look at his super attack effects, because his super before was greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn. So if they've improved on that at all, yes, massively raised attack and greatly raised defense for 4 turns. That's really, really good, because it means when he gets that guaranteed second super, he's going to have the greatly raise again. And then when he comes around on his next turn, he's still got those 2 greatly raises. So his start of turn defense is going to be really, really high with 40% damage reduction. So that seems very, very good. And remember, his active skill is can be activated after he receives 4 or more attacks. Attack and defense 40% and all enemies attack and defense minus 40% for 1 turn. So like, this guy, after like he gets these buffs and you're on that second turn especially, like if you take 4 attacks in the first turn and then you get to the next turn, he's got this defense buff that he got from the previous turn, then you pop his active skill and he gets a multiplicative 40% on top. His start of turn defense is going to be super, super high, and he's got 40% damage reduction, with the fact that he also then has a 70% chance to counter super attacks. So he's going to be looking pretty good. The fact that he builds up to 100% crit chance now basically means that he needs no crit in the hidden potential. So that means I have to redo the hidden potential for mine and get rid of all of his crit. but I guess it is what it is. But yeah, he seems good. I don't think he's necessarily busted. Like, he doesn't seem like, okay, he's the new best EZA TUR, but he does seem very, very good and another very strong addition to the GT Heroes or Giant 8 Power team, or any team that he's on, because that's the other thing, right? He has no restrictions at all in terms of who he needs to be run with or anything like that. So that is really good. So both of these EZAs really good. I mean, if I had to say, like, Vegeta and Trunks is better, but I mean, they're a Dokkan Fest LR. We would probably have expected them to be better. So yeah, that's very, very good. And then we do also have the news update for upcoming content here as well. So we've got an interesting looking new event. See through it all, Gogeta's clones. See through Gogeta's clones and complete the support memory. So people are obviously speculating about getting a Gogeta clone, like, free team. But obviously we didn't get that. We are getting an event where you fight the clones and we can get a support memory. Now, we already have a GT Heroes one, so it'll be interesting to see what the support memory is for. But we should get a data download tomorrow. So that stuff will all be there and I'll let you guys know. Then we've got the players. I like the fact it's called Dokkan Ultimate Players Choice Battle. So this is the event that was voted on. So it's going to be a 4-phase fight. You can't use items, but there will be no status effects. So there's no locking, sealing, dodge disabling or anything like that from what they've said. So it should be quite interesting. Then we've got a new stage for the Birth of the Shadow Dragons event. This is supposed to be like a boss rush, kind of like they did with the movie Bosses Red Zone, where you just boss rush against all of the stages. Still weird that they haven't done the GT Bosses Red Zone one, but the support memory Shenron as an enemy can be boosted. So that is the support memory for Shadow Dragon Saga, which obviously will be super good for Omega's team. That will get permanently buffed. Then there's a burst mode for the Shadow Dragon, the Omega Dokkan event, and then the barbershop update. So if you've been farming the training in the clouds, this is where new items are being added to the shop, including 10 more of the rainbow tickets for the being able to do the 50 summon. And then obviously EX skill orbs are available for some of these EZAs and some of these other new characters as well. So once we get the data download, I will of course give you guys a full breakdown of everything that is in there and what everything is looking like. But yeah, the data download should be tomorrow, or technically later today, I guess, depending on your time zone. Because yeah, shout out to Proton for letting us know, but it should be tomorrow morning, like 6 a.m. my time, so that's going to be like 10 p.m. Pacific or like 1 a.m. Eastern, I think. So we'll get the data download and then a bunch of this stuff should actually drop like literally a couple of hours later potentially. So very interested to see what these new events are looking like. The EZAs look really good, so let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Vegeta and Trunks seem like they're going to be really fun and a really nice update to that Future Saga team, so we can actually get one of the Gokus out of slot 1 and actually mess around with Vegeta a little bit. So very much looking forward to that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the EZAs. Are you looking forward to these new events? Can't wait to see what the Gogeta clone event is going to be and the new support memory. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. Okay. So I need to get that uploaded. But yeah, there we go. So 70% chance to counter, 30% to not counter. Yeah. Right. Rainbuster. Rainbuster. Hey, shout out to Sharky for aka Sister Ningen for the 35 months. Ningen Club is best club. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Vegeta, Trunks best in the game again. Probably not. Like, their EZA is very good, but I don't think it suddenly makes them like the new best unit in the game or anything. Because, yeah, they're definitely going to be very, very good. But, like, I don't think they're suddenly... They won't be the best unit in the game again. As good as they are. Because other units are just doing so much. But they're going to be back to being what they were kind of on release. Where, like, the teams that you run them on, or the main teams that you want to use them on, they're going to be that, like, go-to slot 1 unit. I don't know if I have... I think I probably have from my old thumbnail, like, folders and stuff. I should have the, like, INT Vegeta and Trunks and, like, INT Gogeta assets. So I just have to make a super quick thumbnail so we can put the video up, like, straight away. I mean, to be fair, I could put it up with just the Vegeta. Like, the auto thumbnail that is picked is just showing the Vegeta and Trunks EZA, like, image. So, as a temporary one, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the fact that they've got a nice little bit of damage reduction, the extra damage reduction on turn 1 is obviously really good. But yeah, the fact that that permanent buff, that is a good point. Like the Festival of Battles, as much as like they do stack on their 18 key, and then they're technically stacking everyone else on their 18 key. So like for Festival, they will actually be kind of crazy. As much as I don't care about Festival of Battles at all, like... Oh man, no, I never transferred over my super in. Is it in my drive? Yes. Although this is the problem of never having like named any of the files and just saved them. That's for Geo. And there's Trunks. But yeah, it should be like data download tomorrow. So some of the stuff will be out. We know some of the stuff is coming out tomorrow. I don't know if the EZAs will drop tomorrow, but yeah, the video, I've put the video up straight away. So if you want to see, make sure you guys do go check out the video as well anyway, even if you were here for the recording, because obviously it helps out the channel for the video to get views like straight away. Even if you were here and you saw it already anyway, obviously it helps me out a lot. If you go open up the video, leave me a comment, let me know you came from the stream. But yeah, I just need to very quickly throw some things together here to make the thumbnail. Oh, that's also not the high quality one. That's annoying. But I mean, I suppose I can't be too picky. No, I can. Those are terrible. Oh, there you go. That's the good quality actual LR Vegeta and Trunks thing. Now I've just got to find... That was only Trunks, I've just got to find Vegeta. Seriously, where is this? Oh wait, can I? Aha. I can look at them like that. You can see them as a grid. That makes it a lot easier. Let's go Gogeta. Seriously, where is this blue Vegeta image? I know I have it. There. Yeah, exactly. That thing now we have a use for, like Vegeta actually having the we have a use for Vegeta actually having the what is it? Buffing allies whose name includes Trunks. Like that actually has a purpose now. I just got to put some background in there. If I can find it. Yeah, he looks good. Like Vegeta, they didn't go crazy with Gogeta. They didn't give him like tons of stuff, but he still looks like he'll be really good. It's kind of like, it's similar to how he was on release, where it's like he just basically is a bunch of stats, but he also has some damage reduction, which will obviously be helpful. His counter chance is like 70% now instead of just 50 for like the first 10 turns, which is perfectly fine. Like it goes back down to 50, but most events are not necessarily taking 10 turns, especially with GT Heroes being as crazy as it is. Like, so full details. Leave that the old purple glow as well. Saturation up a little bit and then save. Okay, there we go. And now we got the proper thumbnail on there. suppose I should post it on Twitter as well. But yeah, very exciting stuff. I was not expecting, if they were going to drop these EZAs, I was not expecting them to drop like this soon. I thought we were going to have to wait until we were like officially in part 3 or the EX part or whatever they were going to call it, right? So I'm pretty happy with that. Mandalorian Legion, how's it going? Vegeta and Trunks are the best EZA unit. I don't know. I don't know if I should quit summoning. I only pulled Champa. I mean, I guess it depends, like, how many stones you have, like, whether you're free to play, how close to pity are you, like, there's a couple of different things. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's already commented from the stream. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, that's the thing, is Vegeta and Trunks used to need to actually get hit to build up, whereas now they don't. So like, as a defensive unit, them having a dodge build is actually pretty good. Alright, so we can get back to the actual get back to the thing now. Yeah, so let's have a look at my hidden potential for, so we've got Gogeta. Like, he doesn't need any crit now. He's probably going to get EX skill orbs though, that's the thing. So do I have any spare copies of I bet I do. Yeah, I've got 2. Okay, so if we reverse this guy, because yeah, he just doesn't need any crit. Like, he's just going to build up to 100% after the first couple of turns, as it is already anyway. Yeah, that'll do. Will the global tickets and pity roll over into the EX banner? That's the thing, we don't know. That's why at this point I would say it's definitely worthwhile to just save everything. Like, don't spend any tickets, don't spend any coins, like, until we know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, him having the new same name as the new LR is not ideal, but he obviously has that part of his passive for, like, him being in slot 2 or 3, so I feel like he's just intended to be run in slot 3. Because yeah, I've got my spare SA5 copy ready to go as well. I've got my SA5 copy of Vegeta and Trunks ready to go. But yeah, I already spent my 500p coins, so I'm pretty mad about that. But yeah, these guys should get EX skill orbs as well, so there's no point me messing around with their skill orbs too much. They build up to 50% crit chance, is it, as well? So yeah, pity normally stays active even after the banners have like got, like, when the celebration actually ends, they still normally have the pity being available. What was I looking for? Screw that, I'm pulling for Omega. Yeah, fair. Oh yeah, this OST. Let's change this. Sorry, Tao. Okay, I've got 2 spare copies. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. Bring back up the EZA details. Where is it? There we go. So yeah, they build up. Yeah, it's 10% damage crit up to 50 for every attack received or evaded. So they're going to build that up like super quickly. So yeah, realistically, they don't need any crit in the hidden potential either. And now dodge actually helps, because dodge still helps activate their, like, the parts of their passive, so. Well, that worked out quite nicely, didn't it? Both Gogeta and Vegeta and Trunks now both don't need any crit. I had 2 nodes with crit and 2 spare copies of both, so it could change it. And then, yeah, they should get EX skill orbs from the new thing as well. So there's no point messing around with their skill orbs now. Alright, well, that's pretty good. I hope this means in LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku can get this as well. No, most of those hidden potential ones are... most of those ones I've got spare now are all ones that were either free or from tickets. I think I'd already got rid of all the ones that I couldn't... I'd already got rid of all the ones that I could before. Wait, why is a rainbow copy of this guy there? I never actually looked at that, so you can just get rid of the rainbow one. Still got my random spare heroes copies. I just need LR Tapion and Minosha to get the same treatment. But yeah, definitely a nice bit of surprise, like, news. Those 2 EZAs both seem very good. Vegeta and Trunks especially. I can comment everywhere that INT Vegeta and Trunks is the best unit in the game for another 2 years. Still pissed they snubs Kale's EZA during Golden Week. Yeah, that would have been very beneficial for the Universe 6 team in general. Alright, let's see if we can get this other run done, because I still need this for the video. Okay, so now we're going to do the AGL Jiren, the fight from the Goku Story Red Zone. This one was considered like the hardest fight in the game once the anniversary was properly over with. So this one's going to be interesting because we kind of have to play a little bit differently because of how quickly we can potentially beat the early phases, and then the fact that in Omega has the rotation locking. And this team, unfortunately, one of their biggest issues for this difficult content is that the new units are not going to be... Some of the units on this team are not great if they get locked in slot 1. Like, as good as this team is, characters like the LR Shadow Dragons, Texin, STR Omega, like, if they get locked in slot 1 and then super attacked by these hard-hitting bosses, then it's potentially just GG straight out the gate. So the strategy that we're trying with this team now is that we're going to float the Omegas off early, get the domain up on the next turn with the friend Omega, because obviously in the first phase Bergamo's extreme, so even though the domain does buff our allies' attack, it doesn't give us the extra damage to the enemy buff because we're not fighting a superclass enemy. So we can easily still just beat Bergamo with Omega's team in one turn anyway. And then ideally we need to I mean, I guess technically, ideally we need to one turn both Kale and Kefla for this to work by starting it immediately on the first turn. Maybe we should have just started floating them off now. But I don't know if it's safer to, like, Omega probably... STR Omega in slot 1 is probably not the best idea. AGL Rose is not exactly ideal there either, but it's fine. Go ahead and do this, grab the orbs, get the buffs. Rose getting the hits in nice and early is obviously good for us as well, to be fair. So him taking the hits during the turn gives him that extra damage reduction. Yeah, 23 mil. Yeah, him getting some hits in nice and early is obviously good. Like him having the guaranteed additional super, obviously very helpful. And then hidden potential, even though it's only a normal. Omega, obviously, STR Omega gets extra attack being in slot 3, and still did a 64 million attack stat. Bear in mind, he gets extra, was it 150% attack in slot 3? So that's pretty crazy. Okay. Yeah, alright, so we'll do this. I don't know if these are going to drop in such a way. Okay, yeah, nice. So yeah, ideally we would like to one turn Kefla here, but I'm not sure. Even if we don't though, the rotation after that is going to have an Omega in slot 1. So after that though we could be in trouble. Because I mean, I guess we're potentially not going to one turn the INT Jiren, but you never know. With the numbers that these guys are putting out, you never know. But yeah, the slot 3 extra attack is just on top of everything else. So it'd be even more. Jeez. There's just one turning these early phases. Like, absolutely crazy. But there you go, the plan worked, although typically, now that we got to this point, they just locked the slot 3 unit anyway. But so now we've got 2 turns in a row with Physical Omega in slot 1. That sets us up perfectly. So he eats the super here from Jiren. Gets sealed though, which is a little bit annoying. I forgot that he does do that with his super attack. So Omega just getting a bunch of normals now. That's the problem with him sealing though, is the fact that we 64 million, okay. The fact that him sealing is obviously physical Omega will be able to do a lot of damage to him, but that's right, STR Omega just casually dropping these huge attack stats in slot 3. Jeez, alright. Calm down, Omega. I mean, don't actually. I'm here for it, but so much for me being worried about 2 turns. Like, and they locked the slot 3 unit again, so I guess we're just all good. Because we'll do this. I'll use Rosé's active so that he has the defensive buff. And I mean, that might just kill him, to be fair. Okay, no. Not quite enough damage. I guess he's only getting a little bit of support from the Shadow Dragons. And not like his best link turn or anything, but still. So yeah, Rosé should eat the super in slot 1. We'll get sealed. And then Physical Omega will finish him off. Yeah, STR Omega just putting out insane damage on this team. That's crazy. But yeah, the strategy of floating them both off straight away and then just decimating all the other phases in one turn definitely paid off here. Because then, yeah, Omega just finishes off Jiren. And now we don't have the rotation locking, and we've got our rotations. We still have both our Omegas like on the rotations and not floated off in slot 3 again. So get the domain back up. Seven orbs for you, perfect. And then there we go. Alright, so Rainbow Friend, Omega, plenty of links active, the support from Rosé. Dodging obviously is disabled. We use the STR Rosé active skill, which means the AGL Rosé is buffed as well. So, yeah, 56 million. And he didn't super straight away, which means if the super was going to be the first attack after Omega attacks, it's now gone. Omega didn't get any additional, so that's unfortunate. The only problem is with Rosé at the end only taking 1 attack. If that attack is the super, he won't have built up any damage reduction from taking other hits first. So he could actually be in a spot of trouble at the end of the turn here. All those symbols at the top. 27.3 for Rosé. Obviously, remember, he greatly raises his defense on each of his supers. He guaranteed gets 2. Can get the hidden potential one as well. That'd obviously be nice. I get hidden potential normal. Okay. And he just normaled. Okay, so assuming then Physical Omega just got rid of the super, which is nice. I actually don't know who tanks the super better here. I'm going to do this because if if Omega does actually take some damage in slot 1 but we live, it might drop us below the 60% and then Zamasu will hit like an absolute freight train. Okay, well, we've just been really lucky with this slot 1 super RNG, I guess, against this AGL Omega. Because now if he supers, even if that wasn't the super, if he supers Omega now, he should be fine. 53 million for Zamasu. The only problem is Zamasu is not as good defensively as Rose, so if he gets supered by Omega here, that could be unfortunate. Nope. I mean, we're either getting super lucky and just action breaking the super every time, or... And then, yeah, Omega doing the big boy damage in slot 3 again. It's only 46 mil. He's not as good next to Zamasu, obviously, as he is next to a Shadow Dragon. But, I mean, still dropping triple 46 million attack stats. And they all crit, so they actually did good damage, despite the type disadvantage. Like we absolutely take that. Oh, and then we get a free turn as well, because there's no attack in slot 1. Here's the active skill just for funsies. It doesn't even do anything because it just gives them ki, which they don't need, and debuffs the enemy who can't be debuffed. So, yeah, the only reason I ever switch to Zamasu usually is like if you start the turn and you're on really low HP, I switch to Zamasu and use his active skill, and then that gives you like a full heal, and then I just switch back to Rose. Because Rose is just so good. But yeah, Jiren's just getting absolutely destroyed by this team. But yeah, that's the strat, is floating about. Because if you don't do that and you just play like a normal like rotation setup, you get to INT Jiren and then you normally get unlucky. We got super lucky this time around, I can't lie. Like both times he locked the slot 3 unit. But when I tried this out before, like off stream, like when I was just messing around when the new units came out, like all he needs to do is lock the INT Shadow Dragons in slot 1, or like STR Omega in slot 1, and then super, and then you just lose. So by floating off the Omegas early so that they keep coming onto the rotation and going straight into slot 1, then you win. So alright, so we do this. And then this. And then we should just be GG here now. So Omega takes double digit damage, 30 mil. Now obviously without the domain, Omega's intros will like run out. He's not going to be hitting as hard. Still does some good damage. Action break. And then STR Rose can come in for the KO. So obviously his active skill is worn off as well. It's only a temporary buff for him, or for the super boss's allies, but that's all we need. So there you go, AGL Jiren. Fairly casually, I would say, with this run. Just fairly easily beaten with no items. This was the hardest event from the anniversary. We already did the Vegeta and Trunks ones. So yeah, this team, very, very good. And just absolutely, all 3 stages, all new records for like the toughest fights from the 10th anniversary. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Omega's team. How are you running it if you did pull him? If you didn't pull him, have you been trying to run like GT bosses using the AGL Omega or something like that? Let me know what you guys think of this team and the setup. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. Okay, so there we go. June already got a video about the EZA. I mean, mine went up literally, what, like 10 minutes after they came out, I think? Because we literally were waiting, ready for it to drop. So but yeah, there's But yeah, there's like that 5% buff for like the Vegeta and Trunks EZA. In events, it won't make a huge amount of difference. But yeah, Vegeta and Trunks genuinely look very, very good. I don't understand the support that Vegeta and Trunks gives to the team. Yeah, so it stacks permanently forever. So when Vegeta and Trunks do their 18 key super, everybody on the team gets an extra 5% attack and defense, like permanently for the rest of the event. So in a long event, like Festival of Battles, that means that they will be getting this event every single time, or this buff every single time. So, yeah. The numbers that the people are going to get up to is going to be crazy, because they stack on their 18 key, but also they are also getting that 5% buff every time. So, when you think about how many ridiculous number of turns... Oh, because also isn't the... I was going to say, the Gogeta buff as well, when attacking in slot 2 or 3, 250% attack. That's when attacking. So it will be 250% of whatever it is you see. Like when you look at his defense start of turn, so if it says he has like 1 million defense, when you super with him, he then gets another 2.5 million defense. Nah, Tala, I don't think you're looking at it quite right. I don't know. Like, Vegeta and Trunks seem absolutely crazy. Gogeta has 80% damage reduction on the first turn, I think maybe because of things like events having rotation locking and stuff now. So, like, if on turn 1 he has to get caught in, like, a bad spot, or, like, you don't have any other units that can go in slot 1, you could put him in slot 1. And even though it's not his ideal slot, it means that on turn 1 he has 80% damage reduction. So then he should be okay. But yeah, Vegeta and Trunks, like, even though they're only stacking 20% each time with their 18 key super, they're also doing the 5% to all allies permanently, including themselves, with every 18 key super. They have the damage reduction, like, they build up from the attacks and everything, like yeah, they are going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, I was thinking that when I read it. Somebody said Ink Gogeta needs to have 80% damage reduction. And I was like, nah, that's way too good. And he does on turn 1, which is kind of funny. But yeah, how are people like saying that they're not good? And the fact that it's all allies as well for the 18 key super, like, that's pretty crazy. Oh yeah, and bear in mind as well, like, even though they're only a 200% leader, imagine running like double Vegeta and Trunks leads. No, because that's the thing, they have that extra damage reduction on turn 1. Like, remember, turn 1, they're going to have 60% damage reduction and guard. They get the extra defense as well. They now build up even if they dodge, so the full dodge build is like the optimal build for them now as well. The whole point is, because they get that extra damage reduction for the first like 3 turns, you just get them all their hits in those first 3 turns, so that they're then fully built up. Like, I don't think they're number one with their EZA, but like they basically have instantly gone back to being one of the best units in the game. Which is pretty cool, but... Because yeah, they have a lot of there's a lot of things there. Their EZA might seem like it's a bit simple, but like adding in the extra stats, the extra damage reduction, higher chance to get an additional super, 18 key they get another additional super, and remember they're greatly raising on all of their 12 keys. They're giving all allies 30% extra defense when they 24 key super or use the active skill, which already their active skill gives everybody extra defense. Yeah, this is one of those, like, you should be able to see just from reading it that they're super good, but like when we see them in game, people are going to be like, oh okay, like they're that good. Like, very much looking forward to that. So, but yeah, there you go. That is going to be it for the stream. Very good stuff. Very much looking forward to seeing these guys in game. I'm still having issues. I don't really know what to do. I might have to try getting a new emulator because I can't get the private server to work currently. Because I would very much like to get showcases on these guys done early if possible, because they seem like they'll be busted. Although if the data download is going to be like first thing tomorrow and then the event comes out a couple of hours later, then it's not really going to matter. But yeah, that's going to be it for the stream. I appreciate you guys all coming out. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Give a follow if you're over on the Twitch side. Remember, the link is pinned in the chat on both sides for my second channel, Ningen Plays, where I do all my non-Dokkan stuff. I'll be playing more Death Stranding 2 later on this evening, for like 10 hours from now, 8 PM UK time. It's on the schedule, which is posted on the YouTube community tab and in the Discord. But that's it from me. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.